So, I do have one of each, so now is to decide which brother I should actually send against him. That's another thing. Because our big strength with the cultists hasn't been individual strength. It's definitely been, okay, so he's got 43 melee defense. Let's see, he's no good. He's at 33 with 89. Okay. Lebric's not in. Wiggled's 91 with the 26 defense. Wonder if it's going to make a big difference at that point. Wiggled might be our best choice. He's got 122 hit points as well. It's only 91 on Gizzleher. Wildric's got 92. Wonder if Wiggled is actually probably our best bet. Wiggled's a hammer, bro. And then I gotta decide, is it actually worth wearing the armor that heals itself? I feel like he does damage through the armor. So it's probably just best to bring the heaviest armor we got, which would be the Champion's Plate. Probably doesn't make a big difference with that. Probably go ahead and wear the countenance as well. Let me give him a dog. Poison really doesn't do anything, from what I understand. So can Wiggled win this fight? That is a question. Go ahead and just put this armor back on him for now. So I think we're going to try with the War Mace first. With this equipment. Because if he can do damage to himself when he's hitting us, maybe that'll give us the advantage. I think we got a pretty good shot with this. 26 defense is not amazing, though. Alright, let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Not a fight I've ever tried before. So we want Wiggled to go in. Okay, they don't want Wiggled to go in. So it's whoever's in your active party. So we need to move some people around, apparently. Let's try this. Okay, so they would rather my crossbowmen go in. We don't want that. Just put some low-level brothers in. Still no. Okay, they wanted Lebrick in. Let's go ahead and do that. Literally everybody but the guy I want to send in at this point. Yeah, let's just bring dudes out. There we go. So Wiggled the hammer heads off while you and the rest work on the front of the cave. You knock a few of the thick icicles out, letting you see into the cave with better eyes. Just as you do, Wiggled comes tumbling down an adjacent slope and lands right in the middle of the cave and slides across the frozen river, rides up its embankment. He hops to his feet and dusts himself off with a childish grin. In a flash, the huddled man slams the pickaxe into the ice with unhindered power, and the shards splinter from one side of the embankment to the other. Clank of the metal and the shattered ice reverberate through light as though lightning itself had struck. Now you can finally see the stranger. He's a barbarian, shelled in broken armor that rattles as he moves. The icy walls mirror his steps, seemingly going backwards despite his advance, as though his shadow were his true self, and his flesh the after-image. Despite being in a cave, his loud voice echoes not at all. An interloper are my midst. A mere moment from the mist. These things I shall not miss. He approaches the sellsword like a cold spider unfurling from its trapdoor. See that his face is half frozen, and a wiry smile squeezes across the half that could be still called flesh. I long to leave this body. Will you help me guide me out to something higher? Come on, Wiggle. Let's see it. So I'm under the impression that taking a step back will help with the adrenaline. Okay, so then we move forward. We take a swing. Oh, we messed him up. And we let out the dog. I think we're good as long as we don't get one shot. We actually just killed him without getting hit or losing the dog. Barbarian Madman's Meat Axe. Very cool. Wiggled, you owned him so hard, bro. Wiggle cuts the madman down. His chest armor shatters and flies off his body. Chunks of plate spinning and warbling into the air, and yet tethered together by some strange blue tendrils. Your men finally break through the icy cavern's entrance and slide down the declination. Wiggled is quite all right, nodding smugly as he sheaths his weapon. Just a crazy fuck, Captain. You crouch beside the body. Ice contorts half the flesh, twisting it into nubs of black. What isn't frozen is flaked by strangely sparkling rime. Despite his grisly state, the madman died with a wild grin on his face. The eyes are a bright blue, and you see yourself in their gaze, a faceless silhouette. And then the color slowly wisps away. Not like you've seen before, but as though someone were dragging a curtain. I lost myself. Through a window. Slowly sucking all color right into the sockets, the corpse grins at you, but you refuse to believe that is what you saw. One of the mercenary picks up the man's armor. What do you figure this is? The plates dangle from one another by some strange blue gelatin, and the insides of the metal slats are coated in bubbling, twirling blues, as though it were the work of some celestial blacksmith. It's cool to the touch and gives beneath the slightest push of your finger. You've never seen or felt anything like it, but the armor itself is currently in an unusable state. You have the goop and the armor to put in the inventory. Scour the cave for more goods, which there are none. Before you leave the cave, you glance at the corpse one last time. You think you saw it move, but surely it is the cold of the frozen north that is playing tricks. You did it, Wiggled. You killed him, and as you depart the cave, a local northerner, covered in bear fur, stands across the company. He looks at you, and then the cave entrance, and he asks, "Do you speak the southern or native tongue?" Keeping your guard, you confirm the former. He nods. "And what did you see in that cave? Did you see it?" Tell him you found nothing, only a madman. The stranger smirks. A madman. That is what you think you saw. It is within us all to speak warily of the unnatural, but not within us to recognize when nature herself takes a step back. Horrors are easier said than seen. I was no ordinary man, you fool, but the Izuruk, a transient spirit that shifts from one vessel to another. No one really knows what it looks like. The whole world is simply a series of masks, and it will happily go from one another to the other, usually taking the shape of animals, sometimes a man if he is so weak. It is a being of absolute malice, cannot be killed. No, it sees death, even its own, as entertainment, remembers those who escape it, remembers those it wishes to play with. I pray you've a face worth forgetting. You put your hand on the pommel of your sword and tell him that whatever mysticism and myth-making he's got left he can keep to himself. Saw the madman in the cave, and that's all he was, a man. Stranger nods again and backs off. As you wish. Alright, so that was actually way easier than I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to lie. I thought we were going to have to sit here and try that a couple of times. But Wiggled absolutely destroyed him. So now we'll swap back.